Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. Today we'll talk about an important event which is related to Saturn. And why I'm talking about Saturn, because right now Saturn is transiting through Capricorn after more than 28 years and 5 months. So in a way Saturn has come back home to its own sign. So this is a very significant event because Saturn is the slowest moving planet, but when it comes back home, it comes back with a bang. It comes back with a learning, it comes back with a judgment, it comes back with a justice, it comes back with a karmic debt that you need to pay. Karmic events play out, some of which are anyways playing around the world, which also means that if you're talking about Saturn coming home, then which is the home that Saturn has made in your horoscopes? Is in your natal horoscope, in your birth horoscope, Saturn placed in Aries or in Taurus or in Gemini? Which sign? Because when Saturn comes back into that sign after roughly 28 years and 5 to 6 months, then Saturn will extract its pound of flesh. Saturn will look at what is the learning have you done in the last 28.5 years. So Saturn is coming back to check and get to know what work has been done and to pass justice, to pass judgment, to evaluate your performance, especially related to the signs, to the houses that Saturn rules and the house and sign that Saturn is placed in. If no work has been done in the direction, no learning has been done, no good karma has been done, no giving of depth of karma has been done, then Saturn will show you and will teach you a lesson both in a good and a bad way. So that's why the Saturn return, that means Saturn coming back to the house that it is placed into your natal horoscope, is a huge bearing on your future from then on. And Saturn usually makes 3 such Saturn returns. Saturn makes such a return in the first 28th or 29th year of your life, or maybe after 27 or 28 years, or between 27 and 29 years it will make its return. Second return that Saturn makes will be accordingly in the 54th or 55th year, and then the last return will be according to and add another 27 or around 28.5 years. So you know that Saturn will come back maybe in your late 80s. So and usually very few people meet the third Saturn return, and most of the time the third Saturn return also brings in such great health issues that life itself, going forward of the life itself, come under question. So Saturn return, Saturn coming back to its own sign is a very important placement in transit, and Saturn's strength is also very important, how it is placed in the horoscope. So this video is how do you deal with Saturn returns in the horoscope when Saturn comes back to its natal position, and how does the strength of Saturn, how does its weakness play an impact on our lives? How do we strengthen Saturn, how we maximum utilize it, and when the Saturn return happens, how do we prepare for ourselves for it, and how do we utilize the lessons that Saturn is giving us, the justice that Saturn is giving us, through understanding Saturn better through the horoscope and through what the ancient texts are talking about Saturn. So let's deep dive into what the various astrological texts, the Vedas are talking about Saturn. What are the various shlokas related to Saturn? What do they talk about Saturn's strength? What do they talk about Saturn's weakness? How various events will play out, how Saturn will play its karmic role in our lives, how it teaches us lessons of life, and how we can extract the most from this very karmic planet. Satyacharya describes Saturn as such in the Satya Jatakam. Ayurjeevan mritya karan vipada pratyascha mandad davet. Let me quote the translation, and I quote: Saturn is the Karaka for misery, sorrow, longevity, period of life, death, poverty, accidents, servants, profession, dangers, imprisonment, agriculture, mental troubles, worry, falsehood, disputes, difficulties, dejection, secrets, theft, humiliation, sins, misfortune, jail, captivity, reproach, blame, fear, unquote. So a lot of challenges that are brought about in a life are related to how Saturn manifests results in the horoscope, and that is also based on our karma, both the karma that we bring into the life and what karma we subject our lives to in the current. So based on those karma, we will have Saturn getting us to face sorrows, poverty, death, accidents, and so on. And so we need to keep this in mind when we look at how Saturn is turning out by virtue of results in a horoscope. But when does Saturn cause such serious miseries? Balbhadra says in the Hora Shastra, Atmadayo Gagan Gair Bali, Phir Jalavarattara, Durbale Durbala, Jaya Viprid Shanefalam. Meaning, and I quote, the strength of Saturn will eliminate grief, while his weakness will cause abundant grief. One must indicate these various results related to the soul, etc., in the dasha periods of the concerned planets. Unquote. So, it is a weak Saturn which causes grief, while a strong Saturn will eliminate challenges in our lives. So, it is a weak Saturn which is at the root of the problem, and hence strength of Saturn is critical in our horoscopes. And if the strength of Saturn is so important, how do we increase the strength of Saturn in our horoscopes? People assume that wearing a blue sapphire or doing the mantras of Saturn or fasting on Saturdays or visiting the Shani temple alone will help strengthen Saturn. Nothing is further from the truth. The main way of strengthening Saturn is to working in the direction of what Saturn points towards. It is to help the poor, the needy, the hungry, and treat well all those people who work below you, like the maid servant, your driver, the security guard, the delivery person, your cook, and so on. Now we are all given certain planetary strength based on our past karma and what we need to do or achieve in the current. So a weak planet is a punishment, as whether it is a malefic or a benefic. No planet is completely malefic or completely benefic in a horoscope. During transits, the results of a benefic but weak Jupiter may be overshadowed by a strong natal Rahu in a house. So the idea is to then strengthen Jupiter. A weak but malefic Saturn is also a challenge, as Saturn's results during transits or its dasha don't fructify otherwise. Even if Saturn is malefic but it transits a good house and a friendly sign, then it tends to give good results. To avoid the maleficity of Saturn, one needs to strengthen those attributes of Saturn which are good, such as order, structure, rules and regulations, by ensuring order, obeying rules, sticking to regulations, and following the structure which we are assigned to. Now let's look at another attribute about Saturn. In the Jataka Chandrika, Kalidasa starts his narration with a salutation to Saturn. Nilanjana Sama Bhasam Ravi Putra Yamagrajam Chaya Martand Sambhuta Tand Namami Saneswaram. I translate, I quote, I salute Saturn, who shines like the blue mascara, who is the son of the Chaya and the Lord Sun, and who is the elder brother of Yama. Unquote. What this means is that a part of Saturn's role in astrology is reminiscence in that Saturn is the elder brother of Yama, and Yamraj represents death. So Saturn is the one who can control death or death-like troubles or inflict death too. A lot of third Sadesatis are known to bring death with it. Thus, in an indirect way, Saturn represents moksha as it liberates one from the karma, which Saturn represents being the lord of the 10th house of the Kal Purush. So Saturn makes you do the karma, but at the same time liberates you from a karmic life too. Balabhadra says in the Hora Ratnam, if Saturn is weak in a horoscope, one need not wait for the advent of Saturn's dasha to incur grief. Passion is not restricted to the dasha of Venus alone. Mercury's dasha is not the only one to reflect speech. Unquote. So Saturn will not wait to strike. Saturn is like the police officer who can stop you at a checkpost just to check if you have all the necessary documents to drive, and not necessarily when you break a rule. So Saturn is the regular checkpost in your life which makes you stop, think and plan before you go forward. That's why Saturn has also been called the Manda or slow, as it entails patience, commitment, order and discipline. Saturn takes roughly 2.5 years in every sign and approximately 30 long years to complete just one rotation around the zodiac. So the results are also similar, slow but steady and stable. If a person with a strong Saturn, the person will be deep in thought, stable, slow to decision making, but will stand by his or her word once given. And that is why a strong Saturn eliminates grief while a weak Saturn causes grief. So Saturn, a strong one at that, denotes a strong character, resilience and commitment, and there is no shame in their mannerism and are professional to the core, just like you would want a dedicated and committed worker to be. The Hora Shastra says, Shani Shudro Dvijyotam. I translate, quoting, Saturn rules the Shudras, unquote. Meaning, Saturn represents the lowest of the caste denominations represented by those who serve. Saturn is thus considered as the planet of all servants, or those people who are of service to you, which are of the lowest of the low category, like the driver, the cook, the chef, the security guard, the people who sell their wares on the footpath, and so on. So Saturn is also the Karaka of the 6th house of service, and Saturn represents serving or service. The Hora states, Stulankha Dantakesho Mayavi Dirghabahu Padascha Vatat Kamaka Siralurma Mando Payalaso Nashantamati. I quote, translating, Saturn has hard nails, teeth and hair. He is deceptive. He has long hands and feet. His constitution is bilious. He has prominent veins. Is indolent and peaceless. Unquote. Thus, Saturn represents the workers whose hands grow hard and tough due to rigorous labor. Their hair bear a matted and unkempt look. Those who have Saturn in the ascendant usually keep an unkempt look and may even grow a stub or a beard. With hard work and the blood gushing through and less flesh, the veins of the hands stand out. The worker is always worried and is less at peace. So is the native with a strong Saturn. Always work on his mind, a goal on her mind, and less at peace. There is something worrisome about them if not actually worried. Saturn in Sufism, which is a branch of Islam, represents the highest realm of the skies, and just one realm before you cross over to moksha or salvation, and thus below the throne of the Lord Himself. And the Quran states, and I quote, "Truly the steadfast will be paid back their reward without measure." Unquote. So those who will be steadfast in their work and will do it with a dedication and loyalty and commitment will be rewarded. And hence it is said, Saturn rewards late but rewards surely. The Quran states, and I quote, "O earth, whoever serves me, serve him, and whoever serves you, keep him worried." Unquote. Meaning that if you are of service to mankind, the earth will serve us. But if we turn away our face from serving and chasing material benefits, the earth, which is our worldly abode, will keep throwing challenges at us, will keep us worried. And hence the best service of the Lord is through service of humanity. And if you do that, the Lord rewards you with abundance. And those who focus too much on self and accumulating resources are the ones who also find a dearth of resources. And it is not without reason why all other heavenly bodies are below Saturn, and hence Saturn is also called the ultimate equalizer or the karmic equalizer. It won't allow you to attain moksha till you have paid every penny of your karmic dues. And whatever Ketu may have signaled to you in your chart, and whatever pious life you may have led, Saturn return gives you the second chance, and hence it is like the return of the chance before you leave, because seldom do people make it through the third. So a Saturn return is like a wake-up call. If Saturn is back to transit over its natal placement, then sit up and take notice what house it is, what sign it is, and what did you do or not do during those years or during that era. Correct it at once if you find any fallacies or shortcomings. Yavaneshwara states, "Deva grahana jal vahi Vishnu prajapa tiskand mahendra drevya chandrarka chandra yarka jabhaum jiva शुक्राश्च यज्ञेषु यजेत सशक्त." I quote translating, "Attribute water god to the moon, fire god to the sun, Vishnu to Mercury, Brahma to Saturn, Kartikeya to Mars, Indra to Jupiter, and Sachi Devi to Venus." Unquote. So Yavaneshwara is attributing Saturn to the highest god Brahma himself. And so Saturn return is nothing short of Brahmastra released, or the blessings of Brahma if all is done well. There are three categories of people in the management jargon. First category is that of doers. The second category is that of managers, and the third category is that of leaders. Almost 70% of the people are the doers and at the bottom of the pyramid, and hence they also represent trades. These are the people who are workers, plumbers, cleaners, drivers, etc. Then come the managers, who are generally those who need to crack the whip and get work done. These possess the Martian energy and are a combination of Mars, Saturn, and to some extent even Ketu. Then come the top of the pyramid, the leaders, represented by Sun and a strong combination of Rahu and Jupiter, and to an extent possess Martian energy too. So without a strong Saturn, one can't achieve more. Without a strong Mars and Mercury, one can't be a good manager. And without a good and strong Sun and Jupiter, one can't be a good leader. So a strong Capricorn Saturnian can endure long hours of work and persevere and yet get results, and thus these are the actual doers of work. The manner of one with a strong Saturn is to finish one task and get on to the other. So the mother at home is a combination of the moon and the Saturn. She is the one who nurtures and slogs, a unique combination. She seldom grows old and seldom is tired, even if she is breaking her last sinew inside. And why is Saturn strong or liberated in Libra? Because Saturn expects you to be loyal and committed. And the best of us are those who are loyal and committed and dedicated to family, to friends, to our organization, to our colleagues, and to our spouse. So, Saturn denotes loyalty and commitment and dedication. Serving our people is the best service one can do, is what Saturn reminds us of. Hence, Saturn exalts in Libra and punishes those who cheat, who hoodwink, who lie. One may lie to someone on the road, but when you lie to your own parents, to the spouse, to children, to our best friends, then our conscience pricks, and it pricks hard. That's the Saturn pricking from inside and asking you to mend your ways. Otherwise, when Saturn decides that it's payback time for all the lies, the cheating, the shedding of work we have done, then God help us. And this is what the Saturn returns brings to us, when Saturn returns to its original position in our horoscopes during its transit. And Saturn denotes patience and perseverance, and hence gets debilitated in Aries, as the Martian is always in a hurry and wants to rush into things without due diligence. The people who have afflicted or weak Saturn and Mercury are the ones who generally get into trouble with authorities. They don't have the papers in order, they mess up their paperwork and their documentation. Hence, if your horoscopes point in that direction, then one needs to be careful and ensure that no paperwork is loose or weak, your documentation is served properly and stored properly, and copies are taken and kept aside safely. Saturn denotes conservativeness and self-sufficiency. A person with a strong Saturn will generally be conservative and orthodox or rule-bound in approach, and will take care of most needs of self and be ready to help others too. Such individuals have their values as strong as brick and mortar, and seldom can one shake them. You getting into a partnership or getting married, then check the Saturn, the Moon, and the Jupiter of the person who you are going to join hands with. Any weakness of these three or affliction of any of all three, the best thing is to walk away from such people. A native with a strong Saturn has a sense of purpose and goes about it with an intent. They are the no-nonsense people who may crack a smile at your joke but not break into uncontrolled laughter, which a Mercury can do or cause. When needed, they can be pragmatic, ruthless and calculating. Hence, those with a strong Saturn in the 10th, even combusted or debilitated, can be ruthless and even dictatorial. If you have a strong 6th and 10th with strong Saturn and in good strength, good sign, and exchanging energies with either the 6th or the 10th, then half of the battle is won if you are a manager and if Mars also supports you. And then if you have strong Aquarian energy, then the greatest of achievements of people who have done the most for society and welfare of others can be seen with a strong Aquarian Saturn. Hence, Saturn with the Aquarian energy of Aquarius denotes one who is highly independent, positive yet pragmatic. Such a native is highly encouraging and involved in group work and is a great motivator to if Jupiter and Sun get involved. And usually the greatest of achievements of such Saturnian Aquarian energy are seen during the Saturn returns. The highest pinnacle of achievements comes during their Saturn returns. Such people have a strong humanitarian vision and have huge social awareness and focus. A Saturnian is not very emotional and seldom does well in Cancer sign and detests emotions but loves empathy without emotions. So a native with a strong Saturn will not step in to shed tears when the wrong is done, but will step in with a motive to correct the wrong and to help and to abide by the rule of law, and hence states that they should be obeyed. Saturn being the outermost planet and also the longest aspect on the shortest aspect of with the third aspect and the 10th aspect beside the 7th, is a planet with the highest reach. Saturn hasn't been given the shortest and the longest aspect without reason either. Saturn is the planet of discipline, order, commitment, loyalty, and all these values are intrinsic to the development of the soul itself, and hence a person has to be able to see within, to be able to see the self and its challenges and be able to bring about a change as needed. A Saturn return thus denotes a person who can look within and also furthest out and be able to use that and to be able to manifest these results when the Saturn returns to its original position. Without the ability to look within and without the effort which the third house represents, we can't really change ourselves. And this is all the more importantly related to Saturn, as Saturn is the karmic equalizer. Saturn will either make you correct your karma or pay for your karma. And since hardest work and effort is required to change self, and the house which denotes effort is the third house, and the third aspect is given to Saturn. And Saturn is also the karmic equalizer, and the 10th house is the house of karma and also owned as a natural sign ruler of Capricorn, and so Saturn also has the 10th aspect. So wherever Saturn sits in the horoscope, work needs to be done in the house that it sits in, and the results of that particular house has to be earned with perseverance over time. Anything going wrong in effort in the relation to that house or the sign or where Saturn aspects through its 3rd, 7th or 10th, then the Saturn return brings about justice during its return phase. The third house from where Saturn sits is the house where effort needs to be put in, and without severe effort and hard work, results of that house will not accrue. And the Saturn return will give you justice whether that effort has been earned or put in or not. And wherever Saturn sits in the 10th house from it, it denotes where most of our karmic work needs to be done, and maximum dedication and order and discipline to get results of that house, linked of course to the sign that it sits in. So if Saturn sits in the 3rd house in Gemini for an AC Aries ascendant, then the 3rd house is the house of effort. So without working on your relation with your younger siblings, on short journeys, on your communication, on how you market yourself, how you use your hands and feet to be able to work hard, you won't have good and fruitful relations or output. Your endeavors will only gain fruit over time and with perseverance. Otherwise, the results may even be denied to you. From the 3rd house, Saturn's 3rd aspect falls on the 5th house. So without effort for children and with children, good and fruitful relations, loyalty and dedicated children may not result. If it's a placement where children may be born after some time of marriage, or marriage itself is late and so children come late into life, or distance from children may be seen as you may live with them but may be too busy to give them time. Hence, a native will have to ensure they work hard, not fear seclusion, or work long, serve others, not hesitate to travel far from where they are born, and to be on the right side of law. Without the karmic effort, the results of the house will also not be seen where Saturn is placed without the commitment, dedicated effort. And now the biggest spoiler of all yogas is what Saturn represents. if the poor, the destitute, the sick, the needy are not served or are mistreated by you. A story goes like this. A night before the day of the Matsya Bhed, or the piercing of the fish eye in the Mahabharata, it's a competition at Draupadi's Swayamvara. Krishna and Arjuna are conversing. Krishna tells Arjuna, and I quote, "Arjuna, take care, put your step forward and concentrate on the eye of the fish," unquote. Arjuna replies, and I quote, "If I have to do everything, Krishna, then what will you do?" unquote. Krishna in a very soft tone tells him, and I quote, "What you can't do, I will do." Arjuna then asks Krishna, I quote, "What is it that I can't do?" And Krishna answers, "I will keep the water steady," unquote. So that is Saturn for you. It keeps life steady when it is happy and strong and plays well, but it may rock your life like no tomorrow when it is unhappy and weak. So it's important to see how Saturn manifests its results during its return, and it's important to keep Saturn strongest in your horoscope through effort, the right attitude, and a service attitude and a service bent of mind. Friends, now that we have understood what Saturn's return means in a horoscope when it comes back to its natal position, please check where Saturn is placed in your horoscope and when this first Saturn return happened and what lessons did it bring you, what experiences did it bring you, because those experiences, those lessons will tell you where your life is lacking or where you're supposed to perform, and if you have not performed, that period could have been giving you some signals whether you have done well, not done well, promotions have happened, childbirth has happened, marriage has happened. Some signs Saturn return always gives you whether you have done well or not, or some lessons have been taught in terms of challenges. So understand Saturn's position in your natal horoscope, understand what it signifies, and make the use of Saturn return and what it's pointing towards. Saturn's strength will and its placement and its weakness will also tell you how you can increase the strength and how you can take it forward, so that the learning can help you have better and more stable results and a better karma in your lives. So friends, this is my analysis of Saturn return, Saturn's attributes, Saturn's qualities, and what its meaning in our lives is. Please like this video, please share this video, and please press the bell icon so that you get to know when my new video is coming. Please subscribe to my channel. If you are looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below in the description box. Until we meet some other time, this is your friend, astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.